There are a lot of Star Wars games on the market, but none where you play as Darth Vader ripping through Jedi like Guy Fieri through pulled pork sandwiches. Sure, you can play Vader if you bought 20 loot boxes in Battlefront or whatever, but what if you don't have that gacha game bank account? Good news, gamers. In my quest to find the most fun character to play in Elden Ring, I took a stab at the lands between as everyone's favorite phallically helmeted conqueror Darth Vader. Follow me on Twitch to watch these runs live, and subscribe to see these videos as they come out. Now, let's start that pod racing engine.
I'll try spinning, that's a good trick.
We kick things off as a samurai since the helmet kind of looks like Vader's from the back. We're slowly going to upgrade the drip, getting more and more Vader, while also getting better and better in terms of stats. One of Grievous's Magna Guards drops down, but I gained nothing from fighting it, so Cowabunga into Limgrave. Now a crafting kit and a horse so we can run around Stormvale Castle to Lerny of the Lakes. After a brief detour to the Round Table Hold, I come back and grab the Bloodflame Blade to make a saber a little bit lighter. Not in terms of weight, it adds fire and a bleed property, but to cast it we need a sacred seal, and since we started out as a samurai, we don't have one of those. Easy enough to get. On the way though, we can pop R2-D2 out of a little hole. I'm not evil, but I'm not so evil I forget my best little droid buddy. We have to use a vibroblade on the Tibia Mariner. I promise after this we'll have enough faith and arcane to make a lightsaber, and also we'll ditch the Eochaid after using it once. As much as I would love to just do a Bloodflame Blade Eochaid run, that's a bit too similar to Tanjiro. Killing the Tibia Mariner gives us some death spaghetti we'll use later. Before we warp to Grail though, I want to try and be a cool guy. There's some cliffs to the east of the Third Church of America, and if you're good enough at Skyrim jumping, you can get a red lightsaber. I struggled a bit to do the Skyrim job, but eventually got it the second time, and am rewarded with the Regalia of the Regalia of the Lightsaber. Then we can warp to Grail and trade the Death Spaghetti for the Bestial Seal. We actually still don't have the stats to use the Bloodflame Blade, but after a bit of grave robbing, we'll have enough. I'm sure that's the evilest thing we're going to do. Slapping that on the Eochaid will make it a bleeding machine, and slapping that bleeding machine on the Dragon's Hiney will give us a buttload of runes. Literally. We get the stats for the fancier lightsaber, then dip into Fort Pharaoh for Radigan Sword Seal before dying to a rat. Before I leave Grail, I grab the Somberstone 9 and 8 for later. More Somberstones are in Lernia. There's some 1s on a chair by a crab, a 3 on a chair near the Raya Lucaria Crystal Tunnel, a 2 inside the Raya Lucaria Crystal Tunnel, and a 4 inside the Ruin-strewn Precipice. I did get a little bit bullied by some vulgar militia, but I came back and got what I needed. With the lightsaber at +4, now we can go get some money. Poop Cave, Clean Rot Nights. It's a fight I will do in literally every run, but it's also a good place to show off this lightsaber and explain why I'm using it for Vader specifically. If Darth Vader has a signature move beyond the Force Choke, which we can't really do in Elden Ring, it's the lightsaber yeet. I'll try spinning, that's a good trick. It also works on Nerd Juice and Patches. For once, we kill Patches. Vader is not a man of mercy. I know you're worried I won't be able to get Pickles now, but if you just bring Patches bell bearing to the Twin Maidens in the Round Table Hold, Pickles are acquired. Now I think we're ready to kill a Jedi. Margit is Plo Koon in this game. He's ugly, uses a yellow laser weapon, and dies multiple times in the game, like how Plo Koon dies in several different versions of the Clone Wars. I break that stance, then spin to win. Get used to seeing that. Before heading to Altus, I want to get some physic tiers that will be more helpful. The dexterity tier is just hanging out on a hill in Lernia, and the magic damage tier is behind an Erdtree avatar. It's easy enough, as long as you don't get chased by the Minotaurs. And if you do, just bait the tree into smashing them for you. That's pretty evil. Fighting the Magma Rancor is pretty easy. Its stance breaks fast and then we can drill it. An unfortunate side effect of breaking its stance by its feet means that we're lined up with the top of the tail. A lightsaber enema will give us a bunch of runes and open up the elevator to Altus. There we can head into a dark cave. It's very, very dark, but there's a cape and a helmet called the Raptor's Black Feathers and the Skeletal Mask. It's not our final drip, but it's better than the samurai armor for Vader. The boss for the cave is an invisible Black Knife Assassin. It's best to fight it with a Spirit Ash since they can see it. Since we can't see them, we die. But since it feels better to kill a boss, I go kill Gilka for the Ritual Sword Talisman, boosting our damage by 10% at full HP. I almost feel bad for killing Gilka. She's so weak, but I also kind of like feeling bad. Yeah, let's be bad.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
First evil deed, killing Smaragd. Why is that evil? Because we hit its feet and we have to drill that lower tail again twice. Behind it is the key to the Jedi Academy, which means we can get those younglings. First though, we need to kill their dogs. That's pretty dark even for Vader, but the dogs in this game are even eviler than Vader. It's the closest thing to a good thing we do. The little dogs are a sneak preview for the big dog. Elden Ring made a dog with a lightsaber. EA never did anything that cool in Battlefront, but they forgot to give the dog health, so it dies. There's a Jedi Knight blocking the path to the younglings. We'll call him Kanan, I guess. Yeah, he gets us the first time, but then we come back and he dies, just like Kanan. Sorry for spoiling Rebels if you haven't seen it, but that's kind of your fault for not watching Rebels yet. Now we can start the Ayla Sakura fight. She's the last protector of the younglings.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
Phase 1, you gotta slash some kids up. In other videos I said they were evil or they were dolls, but no, I'm lying, they're kids. And I'm the Vader, baby! Phase 2 is just Ayla. It's not as fun as putting younglings in a blender, but the crit is nice. That's one shard bearer down. I should probably go do General Grievous, but Radahn's fight's so much more fun. Even though I don't know what to call him in Star Wars, Windu, his sword does get kinda purple sometimes. To fight him, we have to go to Jaren's party. Doorbell rings and the Sith is here. We're cranking out the damage like it's New Year's. Walk around the stage like, who's the man? Ain't nobody do it like Vader can. We won. I'm always gonna do the Radahn fight because it's fun, but to keep it fun for you, I'm gonna keep making topical references to Aaron Carter. After the fight, we talk to R2 again, then down the big hole and fight the Mimic tier. Yeah, it's time for Ronnie's quest again, but not for the same reasons we normally do it. Also, in a slightly weirder order. I don't know why I went to Nokron before talking to Ronnie. Up the manor. Loretta isn't an issue because we have Vigor again. Then say hi to Padme. Then back to Nokron for the Finger Slayer Blade, then back to Padme for the Carrion Study Hall statue, then flip it for the Curse Mark of Death, head to Noxtella, ignore the Ghost Glove Orb because we're actually here for the Archer Ashes. That's right, no Boba Fett, no Palpatine. Darth Vader is commanding some pathetically wimpy ranged soldiers who miss about as often as they hit. I also want the Somber Stones 7 and 6 from here, but the main draw was those troopers. Stream 2 begins and it's time to do more shady things, like the Shaded Castle. We stopped here in the Leonardo run, but just kind of skimmed it, so I'm gonna go a bit more in depth here. Circle around the back to a little hill that lets you jump into a broken section of the wall. Then find a ladder in the poop swamp and head west to fight a few zombies so they don't sneak up on you while you fight the Cleanrot Knight. I thought these were the zombies that explode poison when you kill them. No, they do barf poison, but they don't explode poison when you kill them, so you should kill them. Killing the Cleanrot Knight lets you grab the Valkyrie's prosthesis. Hey, Vader needs a prosthesis, but this one doesn't fit. Maybe we'll get another one later. Then we're gonna scoot across the rooftops and grab a Grace inside the castle. Brief detour from the castle to level up our stormtroopers. The Windham Catacombs is a great place for that, with 4s and 5s in the cave proper and a bell bearing for 1s, 2s, and 3s when you beat the boss. The hardest part though isn't the boss though, it's these goddamn gargoyles. I don't know what they were drinking today, but it was brutal. They even managed to kill me by stunning me with a bomb, and then I got flattened by the trash compactor. Like I said, they're harder than the boss, the funky little burial watchdog. It moves weird, but that's kind of the only challenge, and we win with a nasty looking critical hit. With all that, we can get the stormtroopers up to +5. Back to the castle, I was getting stuffed by this Cleanrot Knight on the bridge, and while playing, I thought I was getting worse at the game. First the gargoyles, now this. But watching the footage back, I realized why this Cleanrot Knight specifically is such a struggle. Dodging the rings is hard with limited space, so the narrow bridge was the thorn in my side. The main boss of the area is past another Cleanrot Knight. You can just skip it and go straight up the elevator. Elmer of the Briar is an upgraded bell-bearing hunter. Wait,
he's the bell-bearing hunter, and he's Elmer of the Briar. Is he Elmer Fudd?
be very quiet. He's hunting Tarnish. His sword is like a bigger version of our lightsaber, so I want that. We get it when we kill him, the second time. Elmer's a little tough. He won the first fight. Let's take it to Altus to grab a Somber Stone 5, but check out how this new lightsaber toss looks against this miner. Pretty rad, right? Then a brief detour to the Weeping Peninsula just to upgrade the flask. Sacred Tiers 1, 2, and 3. Much better. For our Somber Stone 6, we ride up Mount Gelmir and fight another Magma Rancor. Just like the last one, we break its stance and then have to weapon art the base of the tail. It's not hard, but it can deal massive damage if you just kind of zone out like I did, so I died. I can try to win, but now it won't bother us when we talk to R2 as he chills in the lava. It's very important because
we finally have the Darth Vader helmet. It's perfect.
I'm just Josh, and let's head into Gelmir's hero's grave and avoid the chariot by being too cool and just sprinting forward. All we need is the grave glove worth 7 and 6, and then we can dash out, also like a cool guy. Last thing we need from Gelmir is the Somber Stone 6. For our next pocket piece, we'll head to the holocron version of General Grievous. Goad for it. We definitely fought the real Grievous already, right? We beat this one the same way we beat the last one, if we fought it. Big stance break, big weapon art. We even end with the big weapon art, spin to win, baby. He gives us the Godfrey icon, boosting the damage of our charged weapon arts by 15%, so now the spin hits even harder. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a stance break on Commander O'Neill, though it's kind of cool that we summon our stormtroopers against his stormtroopers. I think it's cool, at least. With that, we get the needle we need for Gowry to fix up, before we horse parkour up to Ahsoka Tano, give her the medicine, then follow her to Altus, where we can give her the Valkyrie prosthesis. Now that she has that, we can take on Darth Maul together. He's no match for two of the best duelists in the galaxy. After the fight, I get really evil and decide to spin to win my former Padawan. But it didn't kill her, and while our weapon art is good, hers is the waterfowl dance? Like the thing Melania uses. So next duel, we don't mess around and kill our best friend and Padawan for Millicent's prosthesis, which boosts our damage after rapid attacks, and boosts our dexterity by 5. We've been so evil lately. I can't imagine what would make someone be so evil.
And the fascists have the outfits, but I don't care for the outfits.
We can't get properly dressed without storming through Coruscant, so let's do it. Outside, we bully a Draconic Priest Sentinel, then an Erd Tree Avatar inside for a Lord's Rune. Hell, I even found the best way to dodge the Lindale Night Lightning.
Kill him. Kill him now.
The Godfrey Shade is also not an issue. Just break that stance and end things with a big old weapon art. Palpatine sent a Sith assassin, I guess, just to keep us on our toes. Toes kept. Then it's time for Plo Koon to die again, which we do with a nice combo, followed by a drill. Are we noticing a pattern yet? Now we can go to Hoth, through the Forbidden Lands, up the elevator across the big bridge, over the hill, and arrive at Castle Sol. If you thought lions were an apex predator, that's just because there aren't any Sith in Africa. Nobody else is worth fighting. I just sprint to the shortcut and get ready to deck it out with Neil. Spoilers, everyone! Neil's actually the hardest boss we fight for the run, or at least the one that kills us the most. There's a few reasons why he's specifically harder for this build, the first being that I think you're just meant to come to Castle Sol after you clear out the rest of the mountaintops, so we're only level 86. It's not too low, but it's a little low. Issue number 2, his second phase has massive AoEs that cut through our troopers like tissue paper, so we're gonna have to do a lot of this solo. Issue number 3, he's fast, like really fast. He can change his target fast and even stands up fast. So pretty regularly he'll hit us before our hit lands, breaking our poise so our attack stops. If you try and get in while he's distracted by the stormtroopers, he's probably gonna get a hit in on you too. Finally, he just stands up faster than our weapon art can activate. After 7 deaths, the stormtroopers end up taking him out. Honestly, the biggest barrier might have just been I did the Sands run and now I kind of feel nothing when I die. Beating Neil lets you grab a piece of the Haligtree medallion. There's another one being held by an old man. I thought about killing him, but I wasn't sure if that means he wouldn't drop the Haligtree medallion piece, and if he doesn't, we have a big problem. So he can live for now. In the consecrated snowfield, Anastasia can't handle the drill, giving us an ancient somber dragon smithing stone so we can go back to the round table hold, and Ansha, get the hell out of here and cap off our lightsaber. There's also another physic cure we can grab from the putrid avatar, not to mention like 250,000 runes. The thorny cracked steer is another combo booster. This one goes up to 20%. It's really good with the spin to win. Our drip is being held by the Knights Cavalry, bosses who fight you on horseback. I'm not good at fighting on horseback, so instead I try to fight them on my feet, but foolishly attempt to jump attacks thinking that it would hit both the rider and the horse. Don't do that at home, just make a normal attack. I could try to learn how to do horseback fights, but that sounds annoying. Instead, after a couple deaths, I realized there's something in their AI that makes them want to get closer to the caravan that they were with earlier, exploiting that, and we get the win. And the Knights Cavalry set, which is just about perfect for Vader, other than this silly plume. If I want to get rid of it, I need a sewing kit from the Coastal Cave. It's full of demi-humans. I killed all of them, and not just the chives, but the women and the children too, mostly the chives. Unfortunately, the Knights Cavalry set is really heavy. So I go kill some Grail bosses, the Putrid Avatar and Flying Dragon Grail, to level up my endurance enough to comfortably equip it. God, that's an intimidating look. I feel like everywhere I go, I'm surrounded by fear. Fear and another thing. Fire Wampa, dead. Drilling it is cool, but the only other notable thing is that I ran out of magic, so I couldn't spin to win. Basically, that means the notable thing is the fight looks more boring. Burn down the God Tree, probably one with some remaining Jedi texts, and head to Crumbling for Ramazula. Darth Maul is back, this time with Savage Opress, but I found an old buddy from the Clone Wars, so Rex and I get the win. With some spins, of course. Swag jump. Okay, so killing Ahsoka, pretty evil. Killing those kids, yeah, that's bad, but I didn't really feel bad until I had to kill R2-D2. Sorry about that. Thanks for the Shard of Alexander, though. That boosts the damage of our weapon art by 15%. Now it's really spinning. Weirdly enough, we still died to the Draconic 3 Sentinel. We didn't die to the one outside Coruscant, but for some reason this one got my goat. Probably just got greedy. He's blocking Papa Palpatine, who starts off pretending to be a feeble old man, then starts doing backflips. I don't know why we didn't get the stance break here in phase 2, but we didn't and then died with maybe 1 HP left to get through. God, that's rough. Second try though, we got the stance break, and holy moly, the spin is good. Big win. Coyote Mundi won't stop monologuing, so we get to use the giant weapon art. Easy fight. Oh god, he's still alive. I know everyone thinks Gideon Ofnir is easy, and well, yeah, he is, but he's not free. His weapon art makes you take more holy and magic damage. He does a butt ton of holy and magic damage with huge spells that come out incredibly fast. I still don't lose, but I want people to realize this isn't always free. Now we can fight Obi-Wan, but why do I call Godfrey Obi-Wan? Because he's really good at tearing Sith in half. He does it to me twice, but that's because I got greedy, which is why I learned my lesson and win, by getting greedy again. Hopefully he doesn't come back stronger than I could possibly imagine. Let's activate Grievous's Great Rune and, oh wait, did we not kill Grievous? Whoops, up the danger path, then take out Grievous in less than a minute. His Great Rune gives +5 to every stat, which is amazing when your weapon scales with 3 different stats, since that's 15 levels worth of damage. That also increases the damage of every hit of the drill. Increasing every hit of a multi-hit move is really strong. You know what, why don't I just show you? Radagon gets his stance broken, and then we drill for some serious damage. Now the Elden Beast, we stance break it, and oh my, that's meaty. After dying over 100 times with our no vigor run, this feels really good. It feels even better when the Elden Beast starts going for Elden Stars, and I just decide, no, screw you, buddy. No more Elden Stars. Just fear and dead gods. We beat the Elden Beast at 6 hours and 36 minutes with 35 bosses slain and 24 deaths. That puts it at 5th best for the boss to death ratio, 6th best for average death time, but 2nd best at average time to kill bosses. That's really good. So how did it get so good? Yeah, it's the spin. Throwing your lightsaber is cool in Star Wars, and it's maybe even cooler in Elden Ring. The Knight's Cavalry set is also really nice, and so is 40 Vigor. I don't think I needed to stipulate the 40 Vigor, but after the Sands run, yeah, good lord. So we'll put it in S tier. I've also scrambled the tier list a bit because I figured out a more metric way to measure it. I'm averaging boss to death ratio, average death time, and average time to kill bosses. With those 3 all average, the new tier list is Tanjiro, Leonardo, Riku, and Vader in S tier, Leofotia, Thor, Alucard in A tier, which is wild considering Alucard is actually the fastest run, and it's not even at the top of the A tier, Batman, Edelgard, and Wolverine in B tier, Obi-Wan and Toph in C tier, Ivy alone in D tier, and Sans firmly holding the floor in F tier. To watch these runs live, follow me on Twitch. We're finding new ways to play Elden Ring all the time. Join the Patreon if you want to give me some money directly, and follow my other channel if you like D&D. I've made a lot of characters